What's going on, guys? It's time for our digital huddle. I am so glad to be back. I can't wait to see you this Sunday. But listen, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you had a great New Year. I know me and my family had an amazing time just resting and enjoying time together and just playing and just having a good time. So I hope you all had a restful Christmas and New Year's, and I just can't wait to see you again. I'm excited to be in church again this Sunday, and so many great things coming up here 2026 at GC. Don't forget, this Wednesday is First Wednesday. We're kicking it right off with First Wednesday, and we have a guest speaker, and you don't want to miss her. She's going to be incredible. She is it's amazing. I'm not even going to tell you who it is because I'm going to make it a surprise. So make sure you're here for First Wednesday this week. It's going to be an amazing, amazing First Wednesday. You don't want to miss it. And then next Sunday, the 11th, we have number one New York best-selling author, an amazing man of God who just is a leadership guru. John Maxwell, Dr. John Maxwell, will be here in person at GC for all three of our services. So make sure you're here. We're going to have all the seats out, first come, first serve, a little bit like how Christmas was, ready for an amazing day on the 11th. And so many cool things happening. As a matter of fact, this month is when we're starting the 2 times a month doing our food distribution. And now it's going to be on the 2nd and the 4th Thursdays of every single month. And then this is the same month that we're kicking off our new prison ministry that's on the 1st and the 3rd Tuesday of every single month. And so actually this coming week is the 1st Tuesday and the 2nd Thursday. So we have prison ministry on Tuesday, we have food distribution on Thursday. It's going to be an incredible week here at GC. So many cool things happening to kick off the new year. And so here we are. If you remember back a few weeks ago, I started talking about joy. And I talked about that first week, what joy is. Like, what is joy? How do we find joy? I was kind of going into Christmas with this thought of what is joy. Then I talked about what brings us joy. So I want to close it up today as we close up the one year and enter into this new year. I want to talk about this one right here. We could tie them all together if you'd like. Just go back and watch the last couple of videos. But number 3 is this: how do we choose joy? Because joy is a choice. A lot of times I find myself, I could be in a bad mood or something like that. And if I make a decision to choose joy, I really can change my day. I could change my mindset if I just choose it. And so joy is not accidental. Joy is intentional. It's a choice that we make, especially in many places of our life. At our workplace, with our families, we have to choose joy. And so how do we choose joy? I want to show you 3 things that help you choose joy. First one is this. I think this is really important. You can write it down because I believe that note takers are history makers. That's right. Number 1, we have to do this. We have to choose the right perspective. We have to choose the right perspective. Your perspective really does matter. So you have to choose the right perspective. Philippians 4:8, it says that we are to think on what is pure. We are to think on what is lovely. We are supposed to think on what is praiseworthy. What are you thinking about right now? Are you thinking about things that are pure and lovely and praiseworthy? Are you thinking about good things? That will change your perspective if you do. Matter of fact, a few weeks ago, my son Max, he's our 8-year-old. I'm sure I'll share this story in a sermon at some point, but a few weeks ago, our youngest, actually, Maverick, was in the car with us, and Kristen said a joke, and he took offense to the joke, which was really surprising, being what the joke was about, because he jokes about this all the time. And so he took offense to this joke, and we got home, and he's all sad because Mom was mean to him, which she really wasn't. She was just saying a joke that he always says, and for whatever reason, this time, he took offense to it. And so we walk by the bedroom, and Kristen hears them talking in there. Here's our 8-year-old Max talking to our 6-year-old Maverick, who is offended. And Max is saying, Maverick, you know the truth. No, the enemy is speaking to your mind. That's not the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that Mom loves you. The truth is that she would never say a joke to hurt your feelings. She would never try to hurt your feelings. That's what the truth is. You have to remember the truth, not the lie that the enemy puts in your mind. Let me tell you, that was a proud parent moment. But isn't it true that sometimes we could have the wrong perspective on things in life? We could be offended over things that maybe haven't offended us in the past just because things are just off that day. But we can choose to not listen to the lie of the enemy, and instead we can focus on the truth, on things that are pure and lovely and praiseworthy, like Scripture says. So we have to choose the right perspective. Another way to choose joy, the second one is this, is choose gratitude. Choose gratitude. Our joy rises when we choose to be thankful, when we choose gratitude. There's so many times we get selfish, don't we? Our selfish nature, we're like, well, me and my comfort and my things and my stuff. But what if we chose gratitude? What it does is when you choose gratitude, it allows you to become more joyful. You have a smile on your face because you're thankful for the things that are in your life, the blessings that God has given you. The fact that you woke up today and you have breath in your lungs means that God is not done with you yet, and He's blessing you with this day. So let's enjoy it. Let's make the best of this day, regardless of the circumstances that happen around us, right? Here's the last thing I want you to remember. If we're going to choose joy, we have to choose worship. Choosing worship. Worship reminds us of who God is and who we belong to. At our last church in Mississippi, we used to have a logo in the early days that kind of looked like a guitar pick with a stick figure type guy that had his hands up. And we always said that we are a hands up church, right? We worship with our hands up. Why? Because we are surrendering ourselves to Him. We are choosing worship over everything else around us. We're going to choose to worship. And when you worship, when you truly worship God and you surrender yourself to Him each and every day, what happens is it changes everything around you. Like I like to say in many of my messages, it gives you a God lens to the world around you. And when you have that God lens to the world around you, you also begin to have joy. So here's what I want you to ask yourself today. What's one thing that God did this last year in 2025 that brought you joy? I want you to think about it. Think about that thing that God did this last year in 2025 that brought you joy. I want to encourage you to be looking here in 2026 for things that will bring you joy this year. I started journaling a lot again. I used to do it a lot and I kind of faded out. And this year I was like, I'm going to journal again. And in my journal, I always like to write my prayer requests. Just write out loud, write down everything that I'm praying out loud to God, and then also have a spot there where I can write how God answered that prayer. And so as I go forward, I could always go back and be like, "Ooh, I remember how He answered this prayer right here," and I can see His faithfulness, and I can remember where He's brought me. And so I want to encourage you, start some new habits this year, but at the end of the day, choose joy, because God truly is where the joy is for you and me and us here at GC. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you this week. It's going to be an amazing time in God's house. I'll see you.